They went after him. They went after all of us. There's no family in American history that has taken more arrows in the back than the Trump family every single time.
Poor Trump family. Now, Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago was raided by the FBI. His residence at Mar-a-Lago, specifically in Palm Beach, and this was following the FBI obtaining what's referred to as a warrant, which needs to be signed by a federal judge. And in order to get that warrant, there needs to be probable cause presented to the judge doing the signing of the warrant. So this was not some unilateral Biden politically motivated investigation. It was an investigation, according to what the authorities are telling us, into Trump's massive mistake in taking home classified documents from the White House. He is not supposed to do that. That breaks certain laws. And so this investigation is ongoing. I'm going to speculate here that there might be more to the investigation than what federal officials are leading on. We'll get to that in just a moment, but first the details. Sources told ABC News the search warrant was related to 15 boxes of documents Trump took from the White House to Mar-a-Lago resort following the end of his presidency. During the FBI search Monday morning, the agency was verifying that no other documents were still at the resort after the National Archives retrieved the documents in February. Now, right-wingers have been losing their minds over this because they're arguing, well, I mean, they had already gone to Mar-a-Lago in February. They had already gotten their hands on those 15 boxes of documents. Why did they have to do this? Well, there was, according to the authorities, some suspicion that Trump had additional documents that he was not being forthright about. And so they conducted this raid to see if those documents existed. And to be clear, back in February, the National Archives asked the Department of Justice to investigate whether Trump had broken the law when he took those classified documents home with him. There's something known as the Presidential Records Act, and that requires the president to leave these classified documents and all these documents in the White House to be archived. Now, what is that act in the 1970s? The Presidential Records Act requires presidents and White House staff to preserve official documents and communications, including gifts received in office, letters, emails, text messages, and social media posts, and turn those items over to the archives at the end of a presidential term. And by the way, in the spring, according to sources who spoke to the press, a small team of agents went to Mar-a-Lago inquiring about the documents he took with him. The agents went through and reviewed some documents with Trump's attorneys present. Trump himself was also present. Now, when it came to this raid, which occurred yesterday, Trump was not there. He was actually in New York at the time. And a senior official briefed on Monday's events told ABC News that the Secret Service was notified by the FBI a short time before the agents arrived that they would be coming. So there was some notice. It's not like this was a surprise. The Secret Service validated the search warrant and facilitated entry into the residence in accordance with a court order, the official said. Secret Service agents were not involved in the search. Now, why would they need to do this raid? Well, Trump is known to destroy documents. You have individuals who worked in his administration who had said as much. Just recently, Maggie Haberman over at the New York Times had provided evidence of documents that were put in the toilet, which she held on to until she was ready to promote her upcoming book, which is par for the course with the Washington elite. It's incredibly frustrating, but that's what's going on here. There's a person, former president, who clearly broke the law, and he's being investigated for it. And I wish that we applied this standard to everyone in positions of power.
Yeah, so look, let's talk about what it is and what it isn't. So the right wing instantly says, oh, it's to target him politically, and they have all sorts of kooky theories that we'll get to later in the show. But they never say like, oh no, it's okay to take documents and rip them up. Well, why are you taking any documents from the White House? It's not a thing you should be allowed to do, and you're not allowed to do it. It's against the law. So why are you hiding them in the basement of Mar-a-Lago? And then when the FBI looks at them, some of the documents are ripped. Is it like, oh, I didn't like that risotto recipe, rip, okay? And the FBI is raiding his house because where's the carbonara recipe, okay? You weren't supposed to take that from the White House. Oh, you took a couple of antique plates. No, it's obviously very, very serious. Otherwise, the FBI is not going to raid the house of a former president. Our government officials almost never ever hold the elites accountable. So it's not like, oh, we're gonna just do it on a whim, we're gonna do it on irrelevant stuff. No, think about the underlying reason why they're going in there. Is it just the documents? By the way, we don't know that either. It could be that they were looking for evidence on January 6th. And one of the key pieces of evidence is the warrant itself. Now, here's the interesting part. The government says until our investigation is over, we're not gonna show you the warrant and why we actually went in there, because we're doing an investigation. Now, Donald Trump says this is a travesty, it's worse than Watergate. All of his acolytes and supporters on the internet are saying, oh, the FBI is trying to assassinate him, like lunatic stuff, right? But Donald Trump has the warrant.
And don't worry.
Hold on. Yeah. He could just show it right now, and then we'll know what it was about.
Good point.
If it turns out that it's nothing and they were looking for the risotto recipe, it'll be in the warrant. And then he could humiliate the FBI and the right wing will celebrate. Why isn't Trump showing the warrant? Oh, maybe because maybe the warrant is about super serious crimes and he's embarrassed and wants to hide that. Show the goddamn warrant.
The long form version of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, why won't he show it?
But you're right. I mean, look, for me, I have no loyalty to any political official from any political group, okay? So if you had former President Barack Obama taking boxes of classified documents home with him, then he should be investigated. But that is not what happened. That's what Donald Trump did. And there was evidence in the form of testimony, in the form of pictures that we just recently saw from Maggie Haberman, indicating that Trump likes to destroy documents. He likes to flush them down the toilet, which, by the way, it really does put new meaning behind his complaints about toilets not flushing appropriately in the White House. Just saying.
I call that from day one. Right? You heard it on the air. I said, why is he randomly talking about toilets flushing in the White House in the middle of a press conference having nothing to do with that? Because the idiot's been trying to destroy evidence the entire time. Guys, look, I don't understand the right wing at all. Like I know mainstream media does the same thing. They pick a side and then they're completely blind to their own side. So if you said to me, hey, Bernie's president, and he's randomly ripping up National Archives and is stuffing them in the toilet and flushing it, I'd be like, whoa, what the hell's Bernie hiding? Jesus Christ, that sounds like what somebody who's guilty would do. And I'd be really worried about what Bernie did. The right wing looks at it, goes, oh, you should. You got to rip up the classified documents, and you got to flush. And if they're really incriminating, but they're not, they're perfectly innocent, then you flush them down the toilet. Of course you do. And the right wing media, you turn to Hillary Clinton, and they're like, well, the emails. Well, to be fair, they hit her a lot on the emails. But if they had raided Hillary Clinton's home, would the mainstream media be outraged? My guess is they would have been fuming, right? Because they're all blinded to their own side. I don't care. Like the right wing's, oh yeah. Would you want Hillary Clinton's emails? Since she deleted emails for the FBI to do a raid and try to get those emails? Yeah, I would.
Yeah, do the raid. I don't care.
Yeah, why not? Why are the elites above the law?
To people in positions of power like this, like that. Look, take a step back for a second because I want to make a broader point. What's troubling to me about the reaction that we're seeing by ordinary right-wing voters is that they are willingly providing cover for the potential criminality of powerful people. And they see everything through the lens of left versus right. Okay, the right needs to own the libs. Own the libs, I don't care. But what you're doing is, again, providing cover for people in positions of power and their potential criminality. So to me, the important thing is it's not just about Trump. It's about actually pushing for a system that fairly and accurately targets individuals with probable cause in mind, of course, who have potentially committed crimes. That includes individuals in the executive branch who have committed war crimes, for instance. And I think it should extend to people in the financial sector who are incredibly powerful. So if they trigger an economic collapse through their greed and their fraud, they should suffer consequences. The idea that we should provide cover or protection for a powerful member of the executive branch or someone in politics just because we happen to agree with them, generally speaking, policy-wise, whatever it is that they like about Trump, it's just wrong, right? Because you have to have a justice system that treats everyone equally. Okay, for the longest time and still today, we still have this justice system that targets the powerless and allows the elite to get by with any type of criminal act they want to commit, and it's unacceptable.
Let alone every bribe that every politician takes. 7 Democratic senators just totally, utterly sold you out by creating a $35 billion loophole for Wall Street because they got paid $1.4 million. And the right wing's like, oh, you want that investigated? Goddamn right I do. And mainstream media goes, don't. Those are beloved Democratic senators. They're wonderful people. Those are not bribes. Those are just contributions out of the goodness of the private equity bankers' hearts. So yeah, both are nuts. Mainstream media defending Democrats and elites overall are nuts. They live in an alternate reality where criminality is totally acceptable as long as someone in the establishment does it. And the right wing guys, you guys are, how many crimes does Trump have to commit before you go, hey, maybe I don't want a criminal as my leader? But they're like, the FBI raided his home. Oh, I love him more. Warrants don't get put out unless a judge okays it. A warrant against a former president has got to be a very serious issue for the FBI to pursue it and for the judge to say okay to it. I know you live in an alternate reality. They're there, Newt Gingrich said today, they're there to plant the evidence.
Oh, come on.
Woo! You guys are lunatics. You've lost your goddamn minds. Honestly, we're the only ones telling the truth. Mainstream media and right-wing media, they've picked their sides and they tell ridiculous stories to protect their own elites.